And I always thought when I was younger that I would have gigantic knockers because my mom and my grandma do. And then one day I saw my dad without his shirt on. And I was like, oh no! That's them!
Randee, thank you so much for doing this interview with me. I have to ask you right off the top, first, where are you? What location are you in? And how are you holding up? Because as we speak, the world, of course, is dealing with COVID-19.
Oh, I'm in Vancouver, and I'm fine.
It's nice and simple to put it that way, but also, I'm just curious, though, because of COVID-19, has it been, and all the things that you're seeing with on social media, with all the Kevins and Karens and what's going on in the U.S. and so many things, has it been able to, give you new material?
I haven't really written anything. I mostly write jokes about, my life, so I have new material about, stuff I did during quarantine and things like that, but I don't have any Karen material because I haven't seen any in person since I'm in my apartment always.
Well, I was just curious because, and the reason why I asked this is because, with the way the world is now, and of course we're going to talk about your new album, and congratulations on that. If, dealing with the way the world is now has changed up any way that you do or write your material.
I think, so I actually have been writing more because there's less stage time. So it's you have to really not take your stage time for granted anymore.
Which is absolutely understandable, too. And we miss being out there to get a chance to see you folks doing what you do so well. Let's talk a little bit about your career, though, and talk about being a comic, because I don't know if people realize this, but that's one of the most difficult, fun jobs to sit in the audience and watch. But what you guys do is absolutely amazing because not everybody can do it. How did you get into this, and what were your influences growing up?
I actually got into it. I hate to say this. I took a class.
Nothing wrong with that.
All stand-up comedians, look down on people who take stand-up classes. But, I took a class, but growing up, I wasn't really influenced by stand-up. I was more influenced by sketch comedy. I used to watch a lot of, Mad TV.
Oh, one of my favorites, and I miss Mad TV. Oh, my
I know.
Goodness. I love it, especially, I can never remember his name, the one who used to do the baby. Look at me.
What's his name? Michael something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Favorite, and also, and I can't remember her name, the one who would always play, I think is like a little Asian woman.
Oh, yeah.
You know who I'm talking about.
Alex Bornstein.
There you go, exactly. Two of my favorite characters. Oh, my God, I would just roll over laughing on that. So I can see how they were a big influence. What was it like, though, from taking classes to finally doing it on stage? Two different worlds.
I used to be really nervous, so it's definitely I've definitely gotten, my stage presence has gotten a lot better since then. But I don't know. I didn't have a tough transition. I feel like some people do when they start.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't feel like I was that bad when I started.
But you always got to deal with hecklers every once in a while. How do you deal with them?
Oh, I think it really depends on who it is. If it's a man, I'll enjoy being mean to them.
Wait, that should be the name of your next album. But I could not imagine being up on stage trying to, do what you love to do, and then somebody making out some dumb comments. Can you throw maybe one thing that happened and how you put that person in their place? And the reason I ask this is because recently, like when I was checking out your stuff and everything else, I was also catching some videos from U.S. comics, and they put up hecklers and how they dealt with them.
Oh, sometimes, like, I have this one joke about my Diva Cup, and I was doing a show at Yuk Yuks, and this guy in the front row just kept groaning during my joke, and I always find it funny when men are so disgusted, by something that happens to women all the time. Like, and this guy, like, they had done crowd work before. I knew he had 3 kids. I was like, you're disgusted by this joke, and you have 3 kids, and you had to, like, watch them come out of your wife, and you're, like, disgusted by me? So then I don't know if I can say this. Is this on the radio?
Yes, you can say whatever you want.
Oh, so then I was like, you've probably come on yourself, and that's more disgusting.
If that doesn't shut a guy up, I don't know what does. Amazing. Let's get to your material. And you kind of mentioned it earlier, though, but what are the stories that you like to tell?
I don't know. It's just like random things. I try to be silly because sometimes my jokes are dark. I just have a dark sense of humor. But I don't know. They're all basically like what is it? Autobiographical, like real things that have happened.
Do you worry about the fact, especially in the last, I'd say, 5 years, the world has been so politically correct, incorrect, and almost anything these days that you say could be like, especially because of social media, you can be attacked for just trying to make a joke. I mean, let's face it, 70s, you look at TV and some of the jokes that they made, I mean, we're all sitting there laughing about it. Now, you couldn't make those jokes today. Do you worry about that?
Not really for myself, because like I used to do really risque jokes, but my style has like evolved past shock humor, kind of. But I don't think, like, there's comics who do like jokes that aren't PC, but they're so funny it doesn't matter. Like Tom Segura, he's one of my favorite comics, and he makes like everything funny, even though it can be offensive probably to other people. I think it just has to be funny.
Yeah, and you know where it's coming from too.
Yeah, if it's like a smart point of view and it's funny, then like there's obviously the things you like obviously shouldn't say, like slurs and stuff like that. But
that was, and it's funny you say that, because that was one thing. Because growing up, I was a huge Richard Pryor fan, and one of the things that he always explained was, because of course he would swear and he'd say every word that you can think of, but he always said that the swearing wasn't the punchline. The swearing was actually helping to tell the story. Do you think there are enough comics these days who understand that the swearing, like I said, swearing shouldn't be the punchline? You shouldn't be waiting for that and then hear the swear and that's what you're supposed to laugh at, but continue with the story and then come up with smart at the end.
Well, people say that that you should your joke isn't funny if it needs a swear. Like some people like to swear, and it does make things funnier, like in an easier way. But if they're like, try your joke without the swear to see if it actually is well written, or I don't know. I think it really depends on what the joke is, though.
I think what you just said makes so much sense. I've never heard it in that direction, though. So thank you for saying that. But let's get into another direction, though. Your new album. What's the album called, and what's the humor about?
It's called Bad Baby. It's I guess it's just like a silly, dark. I don't know. I'm a type of person who like writes. I don't write like long stories. I have more like shorter jokes.
Can you, and okay, and you know, I never want to put somebody on the spot, but can you give us a quick line from this?
What? Then they won't listen.
That's why I asked for one.
I'll just do. Okay, so I say I cat sit a lot, which makes me feel like I am in a strip club because I'm the reason they get to eat, but I can't touch them.
We leave it to that, and we don't need any more. But what we do need to know is how do we get this? How do we get this album? It's
everywhere. It should be on the 604 Records website. It's on Spotify, iTunes, what is it, YouTube Music, Deezer. I don't know what Deezer is, but
I know. You know what? Look, when people start throwing out, like you just said, Deezers and stuff, I'm just like, is that a new one? I don't know, because there's always another one coming out. So I'm more oblivious to it. I just like to make sure that we don't also know too about social media and where to go to follow you, because of course we can probably get all the information there also.
Oh yes, I'm Randee Noodle on Twitter and Instagram. That's Randee with 2 E's, Noodle with 2 O's.
Before we go, actually 2 things. One, any chance of any virtual performances? Because I know that some people have been doing some, and some have actually been in, well, where we are in Toronto right now, we can't go into places really for this kind of stuff. But some people have been going to some comedy shows where they have the big plexiglass in front of them and things like that. Are we going to have a chance to see you doing any of that, or even virtual performance?
I just did that on Friday and Saturday with the plexiglass on stage at Café.
Yes.
I hosted the Friday, Saturday shows there.
What is that like, having that plexiglass in front of you?
It's weird because there's a reflection, so you can see yourself while you're on stage. Then you're like, oh, that's what I look like? Great.
One last thing before we go. What advice can you give up-and-coming comics who are hoping to follow in your path? Because one of the great things about what you do is we've had a long legacy of great Canadian comics, and it just seems to be building and building. So there are a lot more out there who are hoping to follow in your steps. What advice can you give them in hopefully being able to be the next big thing these days, especially now dealing with the world that we're dealing with?
I would actually say don't start. We don't need any more comics. We have enough. But,
there you go. A great comic and honest, too. I love it.
But I guess, write as much as you can. And, I don't think you should have to grind. Just, do it at your own pace, I think.
Love it. Thank you so much for this interview. Thank you for the funny lines. Thank you for the honesty. But more importantly, though, thank you for giving us something that could distract from some of the crazy things that are going on in this world right now. You're an amazing person, amazing comedian. I'm looking forward to seeing more things that you're doing in the future. And hopefully in the future, who knows, maybe in 2021 when you come up with more material, we can do this in person. We won't have to worry so much about what all this other stuff that's happening. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Please be safe. And again, congratulations.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.